focus. I'm focusing. What am I focusing? I don't know. Wait a minute, what happened? Oh, he's done talking. Crap, what'd he say? Am I crooked? I can't tell. I really can't tell.
Wow, I hope I'm straight for you guys.
Hi guys, Stacy here in my studio.
Hey.
So this morning I was walking out to the car and getting ready to take the kids to school. We had a 1 hour delay, which I love because you get to sleep in, but then it's not like they miss school and have to do a bunch of makeup work.
Yay, 1 hour delay.
The roads were bad, but it was still kind of beautiful. I mean, I was driving them to school and I was looking out the window and thinking, man, this looks like Narnia.
Anyway.
When we were getting ready to leave the house and I got everybody in the van, and then I was like, oh, I forgot my purse. And then I ran back in to get that. And then I came back out and I was like, oh, I forgot my something that I forgot now again.
I can't even remember what it was.
Phew, that forgetfulness made me think about, you know what I've never talked about really on here is being a mom with ADHD. And that's like a huge thing. It's a big part of my life journey and the kind of mom I am and all that.
And all that jazz.
So I thought I would share with you today a little bit of my journey with ADHD and what it's like now being a mom with ADHD.
Because it's a little different.
I've heard a lot of people say that being a mom is hard, but being a mom with ADHD is even harder. And I don't know, I feel weird saying that. I can't say that my mothering journey is more difficult than anyone who does not have ADHD. I don't think it's harder, I just think it's different.
A whole nother level, okay?
Let me give you a little backstory first. I was diagnosed with ADHD in my late adolescence. I would say I was probably about 17, I think. I was a junior in high school. I was 16 or 17. I had struggled in school my entire life. School was not easy for me. And it always came back to teachers saying that I was either lazy or not trying or something like that because I was bright. They could tell I was a smart kid.
My grades did not reflect it.
Sound familiar? I struggled learning to read. In 4th grade, I was still struggling learning to read. And it's just hilarious now because Bruce struggled and now he's a prolific reader. Josie, right now, she's in 2nd grade and she's struggling learning to read. Reading and ADHD, I mean, there is a huge correlation there. That would have been sign number 1 had I been born like 15 years later. But no, I wasn't. So I'm gonna just move this a little bit. Like that. Is that falling down? What's that? Yeah, is that better? I like that better. So you can see a little bit of that shelf, but okay, sorry, ADHD. So I was struggling again in school. My doctor recommended that I go get tested for this thing called ADHD or ADD at the time. There was both. My mom said she'll never forget because when she took me to be tested, the psychiatrist who tested me said,
I was prepared to say no, she does not have it until the last test.
Which was a push the button every time you see something on the screen test. Today, I still probably could not pass that kind of a test. But talking with me, I was not angry or depressed. I could be articulate, and I was really good at making you think I heard everything you just said. And that was all not true, really, but
We'll get to that in a minute.
it seemed like I had no attention problems at all whatsoever because I had gotten so good at camouflaging them, being a girl and being a non-confrontational person. I remember one time in 1st grade, the teacher yelled at me for something.
Probably talking when I wasn't supposed to.
I remember just bawling. I mean, in my memory, I was like, in reality, it was probably more like, but I just remember being devastated because I got called out. And so I learned ways to avoid, as much as I possibly could, avoid getting in trouble. Charlie? Sorry, Charlie needed some noodles. So where was I? I don't know. But at the time when I was diagnosed with ADD. So I gotta put my pen down because I'm a fidgeter.
Another ADHD thing.
I can hold this and I'll be like, and that would be an annoying sound, I think, if you're watching this video. But to me, it's like I don't even hear it. So put it down. Okay. Yes.
ADD.
I do not believe the term ADD is even used anymore. I think they found enough correlation between ADD and ADHD that they now just call it all ADHD. But there is also ADHD inattentive type, which is what I had. Because I was not hyperactive.
That they could perceive at the time.
I did not have a problem with impulsiveness.
That they could see at the time.
But I did have a problem with focus and with attention. And my ADHD completely manifests itself in how I intake information. And it is a constant daily struggle for me. I have developed a lot of tools, a lot of little helpful hacks that help me keep it controlled so that I don't have to medicate. And really, the whole reason I don't want to medicate is I'm too lazy, because then you have to go to the doctor. I would have to probably get another diagnosis because I have not been diagnosed since I was 17 or 16. And so, I'm not completely against medicating. I know it can make a huge difference. I took my ACT right after I got diagnosed. The first time I took it without medication.
I got a 13.
This is embarrassing to tell you guys, okay? I hope you know this.
I'm really opening up here.
I took it again shortly after that with my medication, not having prepared any more than I had for the first time. I didn't study anymore or anything like that. And the second time I took it,
I got a 23?
I mean,
that is the definitive proof that I needed, that this was real and that medication was good for me. And believing, really acknowledging that it was real. Because at the time, in the 90s, a lot of people said,
ADD's not real.
ADHD's not real.
I heard a lot of that. And there's still a lot of people that say that kind of stuff. But having that proof for me made me realize it's not because I'm lazy. It's not because I have a hard time saying the word now because of trauma. It's not because I'm stupid. This is still a problem for me to this day. Kyle,
Bless his heart. Bless his heart.
he will put up with me when I ask him to repeat himself 3 or 4 times. And that sounds like
Hyperbole.
But it's not.
sometimes I have to ask him multiple times to re-explain it because I don't understand what he's saying. And Kyle has a tendency to use a lot of words when he's talking. When he communicates, he uses a lot of words and gives you a lot of information at once. And that's even harder for me because I'm trying to sort through, okay, what is he really trying to tell me? What is the main point to this that I need to understand? So that it's not just, the more I'm just like, focus, I'm focusing. What am I focusing? I don't know. Wait a minute, what happened? Oh, he's done talking. Crap, what'd he say? It also gave me a problem when I would have clients come in and they were big talkers. I just can't for very long. I love hair. I feel like I could talk about hair all day.
I can't really listen about hair all day.
You know?
So when I was a kid, I thought I have no hyperactivity. I have no impulsiveness that comes with ADHD. But then now as an adult looking back, I'm like,
Yeah, I did. Oh my gosh.
I was the kid that I cut my own hair off when I went to summer camp. I would go out and dye it purple.
A lot of my impulsivity had to do with my hair, so.
Poor mom, right? I love that feeling, that change, the feeling of newness, that feeling of something different. And it's impulsivity. That wants that.
I want it right now.
But I have self-control. And so that's what made it hard to really see it at the time. The other thing that I didn't seem to have was low patience or easy frustration. And now I'm like, yeah, I do. But as an adult, now that I'm older, I have developed all these little tools, all these little hacks that help me control my frustration and increase my patience. The biggest one for me is structure. If you have ADHD or your kids have ADHD, structure is just
Paramount.
to success. Friday, Bruce gets out of school at 4 and Josie gets out at 4:30. Every single Friday.
Who gets out at what time?
It just won't stay in there. I have to have some structure, and so I write it down in my calendar.
I write every little thing down.
You expect me to remember it at all, I have to write it down so that I can reference it later. Otherwise, no, it's gone. It's gone. Bye. Also, repetition or scheduling, like the girls go to bed at 7:30 every night. We have dinner at 5:30, homework, whatever. The schedule is always the same. It's more for me. I mean, it's for them. That's good for kids, right? Schedules. But for me, that way I don't forget anything. Because otherwise, I'm going to forget it.
I'm not going to do it.
It's not going to happen.
Because I'm going to get busy doing something else that interests me, that maybe has nothing to do with them, and it's gone. And so scheduling is huge. So the other thing that made it hard for my diagnosis, I think, is that I didn't have the emotional regulation problems that usually attach to ADHD. My emotions were pretty steady. I'm pretty even. And I think that has to do with my personality type.
I'm pretty sure.
I'm an Enneagram 9. I'm super non-confrontational. My biggest desire in life is to be comfortable, everything to be just
easy peasy.
I think that kind of overruled the depression part of it. Although it was harsh as a child when you think you're stupid, when you think that you're just not capable of doing the work. ADHD gives me all the feels. When you think you're just not capable of doing the work because you stay up for 3 hours at night doing homework and you still just completely bomb it the next day. I was able to compartmentalize that in a way that most people cannot who have ADHD. And I think that's just because of my personality type. So yeah, my biggest symptom is how I take in information. It affects my relationship with my family, and it affected my work. And a lot of people think they're ADHD, and I think they're probably right. I think everybody is probably at some time or another. But to really be ADHD, it's like this is a constant thing that you deal with every day for your life or until you overcome it. Like a lot of kids, say about half kids who have ADHD, can overcome it by the time they reach adulthood. So that's pretty cool. Didn't happen to me, but
still pretty cool.
As for being a mom with ADHD,
structure, scheduling,
super important.
And also, when you have ADHD, you got all the big ideas, man. You are an idea man. You come up with, oh man, this would be so cool.
I'm going to do this.
I'm going to do this.
I'm going to do this.
Okay, that's great. But if I don't follow through with something I want to do, that's no big deal. But if I say, hey, Josie, on Saturday, why don't we have a tea party? It's going to be awesome. We'll make treats and finger foods, and it's going to be so fun. I better follow through with that. I can't be saying stuff like that
and then not doing it.
So that's a huge difference with my ADHD, that I have to really think about what I'm saying to my kids before I do, because I don't want to let them down. And I also don't want to sign myself up for more than I can actually handle. You know what I mean?
Promising too much, and then you get there and you're like,
oh, I'm so tired.
Exhaustion, fatigue, huge thing with ADHD. Sometimes I felt like a version of manic depression, except you're not really manic or depressive. It's more just like you have these bursts of hyperfocus, of energy, and then you're drained. Fatigue is a huge, very common symptom of ADHD. But that's about it, guys. That's all I got for you today, I think. I don't know. I could probably talk to you for another hour or so about this, but
I think I should wrap it up.
If you guys like this video and want to talk more about it, let me know, because I can always talk more about this. I can talk and talk and talk and talk. So thanks so much for joining us. Love you so much, and see you next time. Bye. Oh my gosh, look at this snowman. He's like, yay! Got his arms up in the air. Oh, so cute. Bruce's hat, Charlie's gloves, cheese puff eyes. What is the mouth? Oh, those are like the red rocks that are in the yard. Carrot nose. And then vanilla Oreo buttons. And there's carrot bits. No, those are other Cheetos on the ground.